Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, Home Diary. Quirky is the main character. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. If our house had a diary, Quirky would be the one holding the pen. Not because he knows how to write. He absolutely does not. But because every single day somehow revolves around him. Quirky is my dog, my quiet shadow, my loud alarm clock, and my most honest roommate. This diary begins on an ordinary morning, the kind that feels unimportant until you realize it's made entirely of moments you will miss someday. Quirky wakes up before anyone else. He doesn't bark. He doesn't jump. Instead, he performs his signature move, sitting beside the bed, placing his chin gently on the mattress, and staring at me with eyes full of responsibility, as if he's been assigned the job of morning supervisor. When I finally open my eyes, he wags his tail once, just once, like a polite greeting. Our mornings are slow. I make coffee. Quirky follows. I brush my teeth. Quirky sits outside the bathroom, guarding nothing in particular. Sometimes he yawns so widely that I can see his entire soul. Other times, he simply watches me like I'm a very confusing television show. Breakfast is a ritual. He eats first, always carefully, as if the food deserves respect. I eat later, and he sits nearby, pretending not to stare at my food while very obviously staring at my food. He never steals. He waits. Waiting, I've learned, is one of the many things dogs teach humans without saying a word. After breakfast, Quirky patrols the house. He checks the windows, the doors, the corners he checked yesterday and the day before that. Nothing has changed. That doesn't matter. Safety is about consistency. Watching him, I realize how much comfort exists in routines we repeat not because they are exciting, but because they reassure us that the world is still in order. The morning light fills the living room, and Quirky finally settles down near my feet. He sighs, a deep, dramatic sigh, like someone who has just finished a long day instead of a short morning. I start my work. He starts his nap. And just like that, the diary records its first lesson. Happiness doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes, it quietly lies down beside you. Afternoons in our house are unpredictable, and Quirky thrives in that uncertainty. When I move, he moves. When I stop, he stops. He has an impressive ability to do absolutely nothing while still being fully involved in everything. There are moments when I feel stressed, staring at a screen for too long, my thoughts racing ahead of my body. Quirky notices before I do. He comes closer, places his chin on my leg, and stays there. He doesn't ask questions. He doesn't offer solutions. He simply exists with me. In that quiet contact, my breathing slows. My shoulders drop. I remember that the world is not ending. It's just busy. Sometimes we play. Quirky's version of play is simple but serious. He brings me his favorite toy and drops it at my feet with great importance. If I don't respond immediately, he nudges it closer, as if to say, "Please focus. This matters." When we play, time disappears. There is no past mistake or future worry. Only a dog, a human, and a shared moment of joy. Other afternoons are silent. Rain taps against the windows. Quirky sits beside me, watching the outside world like a philosopher contemplating life. He doesn't need entertainment every second. He is comfortable with stillness. Watching him, I begin to understand how much of my own restlessness is learned, not natural. One day, I accidentally step on his paw. I panic. He yelps softly, then immediately licks my hand, forgiving me before I even finish apologizing. That moment stays with me. How easily animals forgive. How quickly they choose connection over resentment. It makes me wonder how many human relationships could heal if we learned that same instinct. As the afternoon fades, Quirky becomes more playful, more alert. He senses the day changing before the clock does. He reminds me that life is not measured in hours or deadlines, but in shifts of light, energy, and attention. The diary fills another page with a quiet truth. Animals don't just live alongside us. They constantly teach us how to live better if we're willing to watch. As evening settles into our home, Quirky curls up beside me, his breathing steady, his presence grounding. Looking at him, I realize that this diary is not really about a dog. It's about the relationship between humans and animals, and what we can learn when we truly care. Corky teaches me patience through his waiting, empathy through his silent comfort, and responsibility through his complete trust in me. In today's fast-paced world, where people are often distracted, overwhelmed, and disconnected, animals remind us of what truly matters: consistency, kindness, and presence. They don't need grand gestures. They need time, safety, and love. From Corky, we can learn to slow down and appreciate simple routines. We can learn to listen without interrupting, to comfort without fixing, and to forgive without keeping score. Applying these lessons to our daily lives, whether with family, friends, or strangers, can create deeper, healthier connections. Living with animals also reminds us of our responsibility as humans, to protect, respect, and care for those who cannot speak our language but understand our emotions perfectly. When we treat animals with compassion, we build a world that is gentler for everyone. Corky may be the main character of this home diary, but the story's message belongs to all of us. A better life begins with empathy, shared between humans and animals alike.